Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Piledriver. I am your host, Mike, the best in the world, Alan. Across from me is Dean, the big dog Samples. How are you, brother?
You got me fired up. I'm good, man. That was good. That was a good intro.
Right. I'm telling you, I told him today too. We'll talk about this. I told him today too. I want personality. I can totally be a wrestling personality.
You can do.
I can do it. Anyways, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got a couple guests joining us later on in the show. We're going to go over some stuff that happened this weekend. We had OCW Ignition, Lighten Up at Kim Tam Park at Melanie Springs. Fire card. It was a fire card. We had a couple wrestlers, you know, like the old age rule always says, the card is subject to change. A couple people weren't able to make it due to travel issues, whatever. OCW and Glenn Lane did a phenomenal job of solidifying, I guess is a good word, and bringing it together and fixing the show and fixing these messed up matches, so to speak, and just putting on a good show for the fans all in all.
100%. Shout out to Glenn Lane and everybody in the OCW locker room for doing what they had to do and making an amazing night, as always. Glenn Lane, you are the man. Giving you your flowers tonight, brother.
I know that we haven't done a Wrestler of the Week. I know we missed a Wrestler of the Week. So yeah. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to give our candidates for Wrestler of the Week, and we'll come to a decision later on in the show, and we'll make that graphic and put it up tomorrow. But we will have a Wrestler of the Week tonight. Let's go over the results of Ignition. OCW started off hot. They started the show hot. Natalie May was our guest ring announcer. Phenomenal job again by Natalie. And, you know, the first person she gets to introduce is Chuck the Truck Morris. I mean, Chuck comes out and puts on a solid match against Asher Knox. Asher Knox did almost everything he could to take this title away from Chuck, but wasn't able to pull it off in the end. Thoughts on this match, buddy?
You know, Chuck's been on a roll lately, man. I've been seeing him progress in the ring, like all around, just progressing. And I think this feud with Derek Dillinger has brought the best out of him, at least from what I've seen. And he's still, man, he has so much potential. He's been killing it. He came out fired up. I was fired up for him, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving Chuck. This was a damn good match, though.
But I was just saying, on the other hand, don't discount Asher, man.
I'm not.
We were talking about this after the Ignition show, just in person, us, and Asher deserves so much more respect than he's getting, because every show, and I understand he's a bad guy. They don't like to cheer the bad guys. But again, this is one of those where you got to let it go for a minute. I'm not telling you got to cheer for the man, but just watch him. Just watch him every show, because he's consistently getting better. Every time. I mean, his gear's on point. I've always been a fan of Asher Knox's gear. Yeah. But every event, every show, the moveset's better, the cardio's better, the wrestling technique's better, the promos, the back and forth with the crowd is better. He put some respect on that man's name. That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
Second match of the night involved, I hate to say this, it might have been it wasn't my favorite match of the night. It was my second favorite match of the night. And involved my candidate for Wrestler of the Week. Jean-Paul Le Miserable versus the professional Brandon Fields.
Fields is your Wrestler of the Week candidate, right?
Brandon Fields is my Wrestler of the Week candidate because
he was one of my two. So I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
All the flowers go to Brandon Fields for the statement win over Jean-Paul without Nick Hahn. He was on a losing streak with Nick Hahn as his manager. Cuts the dead weight.
Cut it.
Comes out looking like a
totally. In the words of the late great who just recently passed, Iron Sheik, in tribute to him, F the entourage.
Nick Hahn's a jabroni. Nick Hahn's a jabroni. It's just the way Brandon looked, bro, was just top notch. Brandon Fields is my candidate for Wrestler of the Week.
That's good. That's a good one. That was one of mine. I'll reveal mine later.
The next match we had was the Made Man Gino DiCapo. This is the one where we had to fix a little bit. The Made Man Gino DiCapo was supposed to go one-on-one with the Ultra Star Ashton Day. Ashton Day wasn't able to make it, so somebody had to step in. Glenn Lane comes out. He says Gino wants his match. He wants his money regardless because he still showed up and did his part, right?
Right.
Glenn always coming through in the clutch, finds a very, very suitable replacement in the Vibe Bray McKenzie.
Yes, sir. Who was also scheduled to go against Kenny Cash, but Kenny Cash was unable to make it, unfortunately.
So Gino and Bray got slammed together.
And Gino and Bray have history together.
They have a history together. That was good. Glenn dug deep into the past and brought Bray out. And, they put on a great match. Gino was able to pick up the win after a low blow and some distraction to referee Keith Smith. He didn't get a clean win, but a win's a win, and the ref and Keith didn't see it. So
I think if we ran this back, Bray could have easily walked away with the W.
This would be a great candidate for like a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Oh, 100. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. 100. Bray showed out.
100. Next match, we had the tag team titles were on the line. The winners defending their newly won titles against probably one of my favorite tag teams, Members Only. Members Only came out, looked fantastic again. And I mean, I say stuff like my favorite tag team out here because they're good, but it doesn't hurt that they come out and Calvin shows me love, Malcolm shows us love. It's they know who we are. I had the Piledriver shirt on, I always do. It's our brand, man. And Members Only. This close, bro.
I was hoping Members Only were going to take the gold here.
There was one point.
Sorry, Jimmy and Robbie.
They hit that 3D. They hit that 3D, and I looked over at you and I said,
"Yeah, my face was already like that." I was like,
"I thought it was done."
That bitch was clean, bro.
So clean. Phenomenal 3D.
And then they pulled him up, hit Jimmy with the scissor, the super kick, and the other one was like a flying knee.
Yeah, it was like a combo super kick V trigger kind of. It was phenomenal.
That was hard.
Members Only is again probably one of my favorite tag teams. They're really, really, really good.
But the winners won, which I'm not mad about.
Jimmy, Shane, and Robbie are not.
Stop kicking Jimmy in the face.
Yeah, I'm not taking away from Robbie and Jimmy. They were able to successfully defend. Jimmy once again doing his thing. Great match by both teams. Phenomenal showing. The card closed out with 2 of my favorites. It was a hard match to watch. It was the Thunderbird on this hand right here. Here's my boy. And then over here is the Lord Thomas the Brute. These are my pillars of OCW, so to speak. Like, I know Jimmy's the legend, but these are my pillars of OCW. And to watch them go against each other it's like a love-hate thing because it's such a good thrill match. It's such a good back and forth, but it's also I don't want either one of them to lose. Jake Ely came
almost stuck out with it though.
Jake Ely came with Jake Ely fashion. He had his, I don't know what he's calling it. They're calling him the mayor of Thunderburg now.
Yeah.
And he came out and, he pulled something. I don't know where he pulled it from, but he has that foreign object. He wraps around his toe and he throws that thunder kick with it. And he caught Lord Thomas square on the chin. And I thought it was done. I thought it was done. I thought Tommy's reign was short as hell too. And it was a great, great matchup, back and forth. I thought Tommy was going to win. He went to power slam Jake. Jake got out. Crazy, great back and forth match. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Jake Ely wasn't able to come up with it. Lord Thomas the Brute retains and is still your Ohio Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. After the match, though, I think was probably one of my biggest things. And look, all right, I don't get to say stuff like this that much, right? We see these guys all before the show, I've seen them out of character. That's fine. I'm not saying anything about it, but to see these kids come over to Lord Thomas the Brute after the show and want pictures with him was probably the most wholesome thing I had ever seen out of him because
of the fact deserves it, dude.
Because of the fact that when we first started with OCW, Lord Thomas the Brute was a bad guy. He was a heel. He did not like the kids. The kids wanted nothing to do with him. And now he is making fist, pictures with kids and just he deserves it. Everything Tommy's getting.
I watched that whole thing go down. I'm like, man, I'm so happy for him.
I got a couple pictures of parents taking pictures of Tommy and their kid. Like cans. It's like it was good stuff. Like it's good for OCW, good for Tommy, all around great show. Ignition for Piledrivers from me.
I'll go 3.5.
3.5. Good. That's a good call. Coming up, we're going to talk about NEOPro. We have that this coming weekend, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We're going to jump into something a little bit, it's a little later, but it's coming. We have Saturday Night Slam being presented by Mega Championship Wrestling at Victory Park in North Ridgeville, Ohio.
Yes, sir.
Actually, come to find out, dude, I came to find out because I looked at the dates of this and the dates of Zoe has a tournament that day. So if you want to come to a tournament game before wrestling, come on down and watch your.
Is it at Victory Park too?
Yeah. So and then we'll be there. We'll be there all day for softball, anyways. But yeah, I talked to Brandon today. And so today, do you have the date in front of you for Saturday? Can you look that up for me? I know you got the separate computer right there. I think it's July 22nd.
Omega?
Yes, sir. Might be. It's not June.
It is July 22nd. Saturday.
July 22nd. So I thought.
Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time 7 p.m.
Yep.
Mega Wrestling Saturday Night.
It will be a bigger park.
There's a moose on the cover.
I know. I noticed that. We went to this last year. Do you remember?
I do.
We had Rihanna and Kai and Zoe with us, and we all, they went down the slide and all that crazy stuff. Like the whole little party shebang over there. And so I'm really excited, really, really excited for this. But on a separate mega note, nothing's been announced for this. Just the people that are on the flyer. And we don't even know, who's facing who, blah, 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 blah. So today, on Sunday, June 11th, I went to tryouts for Mega Championship Wrestling. And I've always wanted to be a referee. I've always wanted to be a bigger part of this business. We've talked about this a lot of times. Due to knee replacements and all that stuff, wrestling is probably not in the cards for me. But refereeing? Oh, yeah, I could get in there. So I went to open tryouts today, and let me just tell you, it was hard as fuck. Clearly I'm not dead, so I'm fine. But, I haven't worked.
But did you die?
I have not worked out this hard in forever. I was not prepared to work out as hard as I had to work out today. And, it wasn't nothing super hard. We did, just stuff you see in the performance center, like high knees in the corner, up and in and outs over the top rope, like chest on a turnbuckle, flip over.
Is that hard?
Yes. It's the way your hands are, really. It's the way your hands are. It's how you place your hands because you put your chest on a turnbuckle.
Do you want them closer to the corner or farther apart?
A little farther apart, kind of like a nice space. And then the one guy liked to grab, he said you could grab the turnbuckle, like the ring post thing, because it doesn't move. But yeah, it was real bad. And then we did this one drill where you lay down and this dude jumps over me. And then this dude jumps over him. And then I get up, back and weaving kind of deal. Bruh.
I'm trying to get into Mega's Hoss division.
I was about dead.
Put me in the Hoss division.
About this close from puking. About this close. Oh, dude, yeah. Because again, I wasn't prepared. And he, it was real cool. Brandon, obviously, he's been on the show before. He's a real cool guy. He's he's very friendly with us every time we see him. He knows who we are. He knows what we do here. And the fact that, he went around the ring, he, gets everybody, he's get up on the apron, kind of goes around, how'd you hear about us, et cetera, et cetera. He, says this guy, how'd you see? I heard about it last show, so I'm one of the wrestlers, shared it on Facebook, right? Gets to me, passes me up. we know how you heard about this. He already knew about it. And then proceeded to, tell everybody else in the building that we do a podcast. So that was cool of them, because afterwards, after we got done training and all this stuff, 90% of the dudes that were there came up and asked about the podcast and then followed on Facebook or followed on Twitter or subscribed on Spotify. So if anybody's listening to this episode tomorrow, thank you guys. You guys all kicked ass
thank
today.
You.
Great job. I hope to see you back again. I will definitely be going back.
I want to go.
I'm saying you're more than welcome. It was a great time. You would love it, especially saying you've been wanting to get. I want to get in shape, but I'm not a traditional. I'm not a traditional go to the gym guy. So doing this kind of cardio and stuff, perfect. That's perfect for me. So I had a great time. I of course got my ass kicked, and I'm gonna fucking feel it tomorrow. I guarantee it. But I had a great time.
See, even when I played football, whether it was in high school or semi-pro ball, I hated cardio. I just liked lifting heavy shit. I was a lineman.
Yeah, well, this is not. I mean, and Brandon, kind of spoke it out to it. And he's like, it's about 75 to 80% cardio. He was like, you got to be able to stop on a dime and then pick it back up like you didn't stop at all. We did the drills today, where you Irish whip somebody into the ropes and then you jump down, like kind of like after the leapfrog, how they go down and the other dude runs over them. We had to do that, and I had to like jump down and then throw somebody in the rope and then run over the other side and drop down again and do 10 of them bad boys in a row. Like, it was no joke. I
bet by like the fifth one, you're like scared you're going to try to jump over, dude.
I talked to Wilbur. I talked to Wilbur earlier because he messaged me and asked me how it went. I talked to him earlier, and I was like, I have one day of wrestling training, and I have a billion times more respect for you guys now. A billion. Because you don't have respect for something until you do it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they all made it, they all kind of made us feel good. You already got through halfway to part. Because then I said it to Brandon when he asked how, about asked kind of like story or a little bit about it. And I said it in front of everybody. I was like, you know me. I've said I was going to come 2 or 3 times and I chickened out. I was like, well, I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it took me a couple times, but I finally got the nuts and did it. I had a great time. So
good, man.
It was good. I'm really excited. And I said something to Brandon, like afterwards we were chopping it up, BSing. And he was talking, and I was like, because I love sitting in the front row at Mega and watching the shows, but how awesome of a memory could it be for me if I was a referee in that match and I got to raise, Ashton's hand and be like, and new champion, you know what I'm saying? And hold up or, have memories with what Bryson versus Chase Owens or Ashton versus Chase Owens or, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Those kind of matches, dude, if I get to ref stuff like that, that'd be really freaking cool, man.
That would be cool.
So I had a great time.
I'll eventually get in there. I'll eventually.
We did get to talking about the podcast, and we did get to talking about Saturday Night Slam. And, at this point, friend of the pod, Brandon Xavier, gave me a little tidbit of information for Saturday Night Slam.
Word? What did he say?
First announced on the Piledriver podcast, baby.
We need that button back, bro.
Ashton Day, 1-on-1 with Alex Daniels.
Oh, shit.
And then the next sentence, Brandon said to me, that's not even the main event.
What? That's a banger itself right there, bro. Banger
in itself.
I'm not surprised. Mega's been killing it. Shout out to everybody, man.
So I don't know. We will keep everyone up to date on all the matches that are announced as they are announced, but you heard it here first. Right, Alex Daniels versus Ashton Day at Saturday Night Slam, and it is not the main event.
Not. That's insane. That's definitely main event worthy.
Exactly. So for that to not be that to be a mid-card match, I can only imagine. So before we get out of here, we're going to come back. We're going to take a little break. We got some guests. Like I said, we got a couple guests coming on. We're going to talk about
NEOPro Revenge.
We got NEOPro Revenge this weekend, buddy.
I've been waiting for this show for a minute.
Front row. We're in there already. Tickets are locked in. Saturday we will be at
VIP sold out.
Fairground. Huh?
I think VIP sold out. The last I seen
the other day, there was only one ticket, and I think it sold.
Good.
So we will be back.
Yes.
We'll be back to talk about NEOPro Revenge coming up this Saturday on the 17th. We got a couple special guests coming in. They're going to talk about it too. Maybe they'll be there.
I'm excited.
So
let's go. We'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with two very special guests, members of NEOPro Wrestling. They will be wrestling this weekend in a tag team match against Cash Inc., Wilbur Whitlock, and Dontavio. Welcome to the Piledriver, guys. How are you?
Good.
Glad to have you guys on.
Piledriver Pod. Thank you for having me back, fellas.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I was going to say at this point, and I was thinking about this because when we signed Wilbur to be on the show tonight, I thought about this. The only other guest with multiple appearances is Joe Pauly.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're the second guested person on the Piledriver, Wilbur.
Great company, man, for sure.
For sure.
And Dontavio, it's great having you on finally, man.
I appreciate it, man.
I'm so excited to see you in action this weekend with Wilbur.
Yep. I just want to let you guys know one little thing. Dontavio. There you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Apologies. My apologies.
Nope. You guys are good.
Dontavio sounds kind of fancy.
A little bit.
Dontavio sounds better though. I like that.
Yeah.
No one's ever corrected me on that.
But you guys got a big match coming in against Cash Inc. Obviously, last time, Wilbur got Wrestler of the Week, and the Cash Inc. was not happy about that, so they challenged you to a match, asked you to bring in any partner you wanted, basically, and there's your choice right there. And I couldn't be happier with that choice. I saw him come in, and I was like, so I'm pumped.
Well, for as part of a guy that Ken is, and give credit where it's due. Cash Inc. has had a lot of success, and you got to give Ken a lot of credit on that. But coming out of NEOPro 1, Jason basically told me, man, he gave me carte blanche. He's like, look, who do you want to bring in? Who do you want to wrestle? Who do you want to bring in for our fans? And while I was, honestly, I considered Dontavio, like just did it because it'd be a great match. But I'm kind of looking over, doing some research, and then Cash Inc. kind of put that right on my plate, didn't they? They sent that video in. They called you guys out.
Hey, look, let me just go off real quick. When that video came out, me and Dean, I felt like a 12. Like we had no part in that. We did not know they were gonna say our name or name drop us like that. And when they did, I felt like a 12-year-old kid on Christmas, dude. I was like, this is so cool.
He did. He was like, oh my God.
Like, we literally got dragged into the storyline, and it's fantastic.
I don't know if it's a story. They seem pretty upset about it.
They're
on
a warpath to prove that they're the best faction around, man. So
you guys, Mega, but you came down to NEOPro. You had an amazing show, and the only thing that upset, look, and that's all fine. I'm all about these guys getting their names out there. I'm cool with it. The problem was they insulted. I'll say it, my people. They insulted Dontavio's people. They insulted Canton. They insulted our crowd.
Hall of Fame City.
The Hall of Fame City. They called us out, and then they told me pick a partner. And I mentioned in our video, like, hey, I know a lot of guys. I could have picked anybody, but let's just stay close to home. Let's get this kid who's been kicking ass all over the scene to come in, be a part of NEOPro Revenge, team up with me, and see educate these boys in Cash Inc. what Canton's all about.
First time we got to see Dontavio was in Mega, and we were blown away. We're like, this dude.
I want to say it was a breaking down barriers, like a battle royal, I believe.
No. My first match that I did at Mega was with Lemmy. I wrestled Lemmy, for the title. I ended up losing, but it's funny though. You guys seen the old Dontavio, the Dontavio that was out of shape, was all over the place in his head. This is a completely different Dontavio coming into Neo this Saturday. It's going to be one to see.
Well, look, see, now I'm even more excited because, like Dean said, we saw you before, and I was interested then. I'm not saying you were out of shape. You're saying that. So if you're saying you're better now, I'm saying you were good then. So I'm even more excited now.
Yeah,
so,
me too, man.
Phenomenal,
I've put a lot of work in the last couple months, and I'm over the moon about this Saturday. That's for sure. And then wrestling with Wilbur is just an opportunity in general. I know Wilbur since I was probably up to his knees. A lot of people didn't know that, but I used to watch him train myself. So this is definitely going to be chemistry, a lot of chemistry.
Oh yeah, you guys got history going in there. That's awesome.
We do. You guys want a little inside baseball, and I'm sure Dontavio doesn't mind me saying this, man. Like, as he mentioned, he's been putting in the work, physically, mentally, just grasping this business. Before all of this, we're constantly talking, he's constantly asking questions. By no means do I know everything, but I know a decent bit, and been more than happy to help. He got into this when he was basically 18 years old. So did I. He had a couple missteps along the way. And my thought process was, man, if people gave up on me for every dumb thing I did or said when I was 18 or 19, I wouldn't be talking to y'all.
So, I mean, not even in the wrestling business, and I agree with that statement.
Just in life in general.
But in wrestling, as he mentioned, we'll give a shout out to your pops in here. His dad actually was in my training class some 21 years ago now. So, and he was a toddler, was watching me train with his dad. So this has come full circle to say, man, hey, here's this kid that, got humble, understood, righted his wrongs, has been working his ass off. And he was there the day before NEOPro 1, helping set up, helping with sound, helping anywhere he was needed. And that needs to be rewarded. That absolutely needs to be rewarded. The hard work, the dedication, and the appreciation for what we're doing, that needs to be rewarded. And man, the reward's going to be Saturday night because we're going to have another packed house. We're going to have Cash Inc. in the building on top of how many other great matches I know we're going to talk about.
Oh yeah, the card's absolutely stacked.
Hey, man.
I'm making sure. I already told Dean I'll be there to pick him up early. I was unable to get the seats I wanted last time. This time they will be mine. I want the seats right by the entranceway. Those are the seats I want.
He's gonna bull rush the door.
We'll rush the door. 110%.
We'll rush the door. Hold down your seat, and go get yourself a slice of pizza. Come say hello. Check out the merch and all that. Once you hold it down, you're good to go.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Check out the merch, man. You know what? That was crazy. I just thought about while I'm sitting here. I got new gear coming for this. I got new music coming for this. Like, man, I'm over the moon. It's crazy,
dude. I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you too, man.
Thank you.
I'm definitely going to grab some a tea then.
Yeah,
I'm excited 100%. To hear the new music for sure. I might get a Wilbur Whitlock wrestle buddy too.
There you go.
Woo! They're gonna be
those are sweet.
Those are sweet. You're gonna have them on hand.
A little better, like as you seen me before, Mike, at OCW, when the crowd, wasn't as big a fan of mine. They might have been more apt to buy one of those and take it home and have their way with that doll. I don't care. It's you buy yours. You can. I know full well that I practiced many of a top rope off the couch moves on my Macho King wrestling buddy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So that down along the way.
100. I had an Ultimate Warrior one. I had an Ultimate Warrior one that 100 times, choke slams, suplexes, everything. So that's kind of cool. I'm really excited, that you got the wrestle buddy. That's awesome. That's an awesome piece of merch.
I had Macho King, Hulk Hogan, and I had the $1 Million Man.
There you go.
I carried the $1 Million Man around me everywhere, though. That was my dude. But so we got to review NEOPro 1, and we both gave it 5 Piledrivers. We thought it was absolutely lights out. Loved it.
Perfect score.
And it's almost a little scary because now, hey, if we reach perfection in the first show, boy, it's a high bar, but we're ready for it. We're ready for it every single time, man.
We were just blown away. And I don't know. You guys were there. We want to hear your guys' thoughts on what your on NEOPro 1 went.
Go ahead, Dontavio, man. You had a different perspective. Hit him with.
I was gonna say I didn't even know Dontavio was in the building for NEOPro 1.
I seen you guys, man. I seen you guys. I've seen a lot of guys actually that showed up that I weren't expecting to. And I actually got to be there before the show, and just the energy before the show was immaculate, just to say the least. Sat on the ring and I was like, man, this is where I want to be for sure. And then the show started and it was just more than I could have expected. I mean, I think one of my favorite matches I watched that night had to have been Matt Taylor and Justin Maine.
It was such a good match.
That was my favorite. I mean,
pumped about this no time limit match on Saturday for them.
Yes, the storytelling
100%.
and everything with them throughout that whole entire match was just,
it was immaculate. And unfortunately, I did not get to see Wilbur's match. I ended up having to leave dad duties, but I didn't even have to be there to know how good it did. I mean, it just the energy before that was crazy as well. I mean, everybody on social media was promoting it, and just I'm lost for words at just that match alone. That's all I've seen from Neo being posted a lot, and Wilbur is being posted a lot, and it's great to see. The card from top to bottom was amazing. The tag match, Beastman and Bray, all of that. And just to see the guys that I know alone and work with on other shows go out there and bust their ass and do everything that they're supposed to do and put on a great show, that alone to me was better than anything. I mean, there's not a whole lot more I can say than it was immaculate. It was great.
that's awesome.
I mean, I agree with everything you said.
Yeah, that crowd was electric right off the rip. And
it's kind of in the same vein, like you said. It's good to see people you know and you've worked with before go out there and they're in the same vein. So like, I hate to use it against you guys right now, but I love Cash Inc. Like, I'm a big fucking fan. This is when we talk about like OCW, and you probably heard us before, Wilbur. Like Tommy and Jake just went against each other for the title. I didn't know who to root for because I like them both. So like, you guys are gonna put on a great match. Somebody's gonna win. Like,
say, I like Cash Inc too. I did a lot of turmoils and stuff too, man. And I've talked to these guys and stuff like that, but kind of changes the likeness when you start talking all that mess on Facebook and
I agree.
and stuff.
Just straight called you guys out. Like, I didn't see it coming.
No, more power to them. More power to them, because they're young guys and they want to get noticed. I get it, because all they had to do was ask. Whether it's in a DM or anything like that. All they had to do was ask. Man, I'd give those guys a match any day of the week. They came right out. Called me out by name. And now by proxy, Dontavio by name, man, called out our city by name. And you guys, coming up from the Cleveland area, you probably don't get to come down to Canton too much, man. I love it. That's home. There's some rugged spots. There is everywhere, but man, that's home. And they called us right out. They
were upset. Gavin kept saying all he heard about was the pop that Wilbur got. But let me just tell you, and I'll say it again. It was a great freaking pop.
That was a great pop.
Almost blew off the damn building. Like,
well, I don't like to rest on my laurels, man. I really don't. But I listened to last week's episode where Paulie, and it's a shame Paulie's not going to be there this week. But when Paulie's saying, it's like, man, like the only thing comparable is when it's the guy. Like, and dude, I mean, it's a huge compliment. But I'll just be honest with you guys. I worked hard for that pop, man. The 20 years gimmick, man. I've been putting in the work, and real life Canton has been my town. And we're not going to get mean on this podcast by any means, but there's been other companies that are around that are trying, and they're not delivering, and that's not fair to my people. And I've put in the work for this past 20 years to try to build my brand, and whatever equity I have in wrestling, I want to deliver, and I want to put in NEOPro. And again, I don't want to go down the entire card by any means, but I came to you guys for NEOPro 1 saying, hey man, I appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate the hype that you guys put in. And I personally was like, I want to invite you all down here. I want you to check out what we're going to do. And that's me putting my money where my mouth is, because there's no way I could have known if it was going to deliver like that or not. But I talked about the Studio 86 guys. I talked about Justin Maine, where I was like, I know you guys don't know these guys yet. These guys are getting guys, we're getting guys from different areas. We're bringing them in, different looks, but I feel like what Jason and Dan put together and what I was able to help them out with by getting talent, I was like, I really believe you were going to get a quality product. And I heard the reviews. I heard the people. I feel like it delivered and some, and we're going to continue doing that in the future.
I agree.
Well, like you said, you put your money where your mouth is. You invited us down.
Which just the message alone, just
I
saying your
don't want to
appreciation
say,
meant more than you know. Like,
well, like I said, I don't want to say that I was the first one to buy mine and Dean's tickets, but as soon as them tickets dropped, I bought them damn tickets.
Appreciate it so much.
You know what
man.
I'm saying? So it's not like I was like, maybe we'll see if there's some show. Like it was exciting to the point where I want to come back for more, and that's all you need.
And you're under no obligation to. Not one single person
Yeah.
is obligation to drop their hard-earned money on a ticket. We need to deliver for you, and I think that gets lost. I really do think that gets lost amongst not the guys that you cover, because there's some great independent wrestling out there, but not all of it is. I think there's some guys that think, hey, we're doing this, and the people just need to be here. Like, no, man,
You
you guys
need to come on.
no spend your hard-earned money on your ticket. But when you do, we need to deliver for you. And I felt like we did that NEOPro one. And if everything shakes out the way it's looking at Revenge, I think we're going to get the same exact thing, man.
I have no doubt in my mind it will. It'll be even better. But I have to ask you.
Go ahead, Dean.
What was your initial reaction when you first came out and you heard that pop? And where would you rank that above, like, greatest pops for one of your entrances in your career?
Ranking, it's top 5 without question for my career. Just again, man, like I personally put in a lot of work. Jason and Dan put in a lot of work. And they've been friends of mine for 10 years. And I told them before my match, my pop or anything, I put my arms around them both, and I said, y'all earned this. You guys put in the work. You dedicated this place. This looks great. It sounds great. Everything is great. These guys are all out here working hard. Y'all earned it. And I would put in the work that I did for them again 100 times over. I absolutely would. So to get that reaction, it's all that hard work being validated. And a little inside baseball. Some people that don't need to be mentioned might have been questioning, the work that I've put in and the reputation I'll leave behind. You try to shake it off, but you start questioning yourself a little bit. So then you hear that, and it's like it's a big double middle finger that I want to question you, because it's like whatever you're saying, anybody can say whatever they want to say.
Right.
This says otherwise.
This says, and I'll give you one little inside baseball, because it's just awesome. So we're in the back ready to go out. Shane Douglas is behind me. My music is playing first, and you guys were there, and you hear the reaction. And just Shane's been around for forever. So I kind of look back at him as I'm going to go through the curtain, and I go, hey, Shane, you think we're going to be all right out there? And he goes, I think you're going to be all right out there. God damn.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
Give him a smile, and we go through, and we go out there and rock and roll, man. So, no, it was incredible. Thank you guys. Anybody who is listening, just thank you. And let's do it again, man. I'm so excited.
110%. Now, I have a question for you guys, and I wanted to ask you both. We've seen this card. We know you guys are in a match. Besides your match, what match are you looking forward to like peeking around the curtain and trying to catch the most of?
Hit him, Dontavio.
Probably. I'm going to say the 4-way.
The showcase.
Absolutely, yeah. The 4-way.
The showcase gonna be fire.
Yeah. I've never seen Alex Daniels. I know he just made his return from being off for a while. Somebody I'd love to work with. I've worked with CeeLo. I've worked with Ely. Colton, he just, I watch him now. Wilbur had told me to start watching him, and
I've friend requested him on Facebook, and I've started watching some of his shit too. He's really good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of the top matches at the card. I think it is too.
I said that a while ago, and I'm in the same boat as you. I've never seen Alex work. I've seen videos, and just recently at Breaking Down Barriers, I think it was 11, right, Dean? The last one.
Yes.
Him and Butchie, from everybody that was in the arena, put on a 5-star match. I've loved Butchie ever since the first time I saw him, and I know he can go. So them saying him and Butchie put on a 5-star match, I'm really excited for Alex Daniels. And, same vein, I've been watching Colton do his thing. Great. CeeLo's phenomenal. And Jake Ely's been my favorite OCW superstar since I started fucking with OCW. So this match is probably, I agree with you, probably the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he took my answer. He took my answer.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
You know, my mission right now, man, is that every show that I've been hitting multiple states and multiple towns and everything. So every promotion I go to, I am watching, and I am watching these young dudes. Jake doesn't really need that much of an introduction. He's been the OCW champion, the heavyweight champion. So he has established himself as a main event, as a player. But really, the main thing that those first three, CeeLo, Colton, and Jake had in common is that they're just young guys, and they are just working their asses off, man.
Yep.
So that is my mission right now, is to watch these shows and see these young dudes that not only are going out and working hard, but are connecting too. You know, just connecting with the crowd and get a genuine connection. CeeLo,
I was gonna say, you don't need CeeLo. You can just already put him out there. The crowd loves CeeLo. Have the good one. I will donate to that collection plate every show. That
he is over everywhere. I love CeeLo. CeeLo is great.
Good things. I think with CeeLo and Jake, I think it's a matter of just getting in front of this crowd for the first time for those two, because they know what they could do. Colton, came out of a good friend of mine, Jimmy Lee's academy out in Mansfield of ASWA, who he trained a who's who of really, really good wrestlers. And Colton is a dude that will, if he is not booked, he's going to a show. He was there on Saturday night too, just helping out where he's needed, asking questions, man, talking, meeting people. It's one of the things, you see that sort of hustle and you appreciate a kid, I was more than happy to put in the word for him. And so that was kind of the idea that Jason had, was like, well, what young guys do you suggest? What guys can get on the show, and just let them get out there and in front of our crowd and see what they can do. And those three were the ones that came to mind. But our mutual friend, Brandon Xavier, he sent me a message. He basically said, dude, Alex is back. Alex is hungry. You got a spot for Alex on your card. That part, the card was pretty well booked up, but I have been on shows.
Yeah, because originally this was a triple threat match.
So I've been on shows with Alex in the past, before he took his hiatus, and I'll easily vouch for him because the kid is amazing. So I put in the word to Jason. He's like, hey, if he's cool getting in that 4-way, we got a spot for him. And there you go. And I mean, that match, not only just because all four of those guys are fantastic, as I know, but they are the ones that now have something to prove. This is a brand new crowd for all four of them. They're going to go try to be the one who stands out amongst a group of fantastic pro wrestlers. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Another match I'm personally excited about.
I need a prediction though. I need a prediction.
Okay.
What do you need? A prediction? It's four awesome dudes. You got to give me a prediction on who's coming out on top.
I'd like to see Colton. That's what I'd like to see.
There you go.
Personally, myself.
That's a solid pick.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot more Colton as well.
I'm gonna take the good one past the CeeLo.
Dean?
I'm gonna go with Alex Daniels.
Ooh.
We get to go around the horn because if y'all followed any BCW down in Wheeling, West Virginia, me and Jake, we went to war together. We were in war games together. We bled together. We fought together. I will never bet against the Thunderbird, Jake.
Caw, baby. Caw.
I feel
I'm in the same boat. This is another one of those matches where I have not familiar with Colton and Alex, but CeeLo and Jake, I want both of them to win, and that's the thing that can happen.
I'm geeked, man. If Dontavio didn't pick that one, that's when I was picking. I am
legitimately, any one of these men could walk away victorious.
Another match I'm super excited about that's got also some young talent. One of the guys I'm very familiar with, another one I just was introduced to through NEOPro, Patrick Hayes.
Ooh.
He's going one-on-one with the Ultra Star Ashton Day, who, if you've listened to the show, you know I'm a fanboy. I like Ashton.
Ashton's great.
I don't know. I fucking hate Patrick Hayes, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
a good heel.
He's a good bad guy. Like, because the fact that I'm sitting here, like, man, this dude, you know, like you're doing your job. perfectly.
I think that's
And-
another tough one, man, because I just recently met Patrick at an A2W show, and that guy he's tough, dude. I mean, he is big, he is tough, he is strong, like, man. And then I've wrestled Ashton plenty of times, and he's smart. Like it's hard to try to decide on that one either, man.
Yeah,
it's tough.
well, seeing
That's
Patrick
the
Hayes
way.
be such a good bad guy with Jimmy Shane, who I've never seen in that light. Like, I've always seen Jimmy as the fan favorite at OCW, and then he comes to NEOPro and people hate him, and it's just the difference in dynamic of how he takes that is great.
Guilty by
Patrick Hayes is great. They make a phenomenal tag team, in my opinion. I'm excited for both of their singles matches. Jimmy's going against Shane Douglas one-on-one in a wrestling match.
Going back to Patrick Hayes, we'll touch on that real quick. Hayes and I have a lot of parallels. We are about the same age. We've both been doing this a really long time, but everything that I just told you about those guys before, hey man, I'm all about these younger guys, man, getting their opportunity. Patrick Hayes is the exact opposite. Patrick Hayes you say he's a bad guy. Patrick Hayes is a dickhead. There's just no two ways around it. Now that being said, he is a phenomenal. I will never take that away from him, man. We've been tag team champions before. We've wrestled each other at least a couple dozen times. But where I'm like, hey man, I got more matches behind me than I do ahead of me. I know that. Let's get it ready for the next guy. Patrick Hayes does not believe that. Patrick Hayes is here yesterday. He's here today. He's going to be here tomorrow. So he sees a guy like Ashton Day. And look, you have to be deaf to not hear the buzz about Ashton Day, because the dude, made a great impression on AEW on national television. That happened, man. That dude is getting around all over the area. He looks like a star. He talks like a star. He wrestles like a star. That guy is not going to be on our independent circuit too much longer. You can mark my word.
I said that too.
But a guy like me is like, man, I'm pulling for that kid. I'm so happy to see it. A guy like Patrick Hayes,
he's like, I'm going to squash that kid.
Squash it before it happens to make his name of it.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, it's been successful for him because Patrick Hayes is on the top of every card that he's on. So there's more to that than being a great wrestling match, and I believe it's going to be a great wrestling match. There's going to be some personal animosity coming through. Like, you'll be
psychological warfare.
This makes me way more excited for this match too. I already was hyped for it.
Yeah.
But then you want to talk about the Shane versus Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one, I'm not sure how to take. Last time, okay, so
Old strategy, Cotton.
When before NeoPro won, before we did the show, we did our show, we were talking, and Jimmy listened, and he messaged me, and because we were talking shit, me and Dean both picked you and franchise to take this one, and during the match, a couple times even, Jimmy Shane, at one instance he speared Shane Douglas, and he pointed right at me, man, and he's like, I told you. So it's hard for me to count out Jimmy Shane at this point because I know it's Shane Douglas. But Jimmy Shane, I've seen him do some things, and I got some faith in him. So this could go either way.
Yeah,
I think so. A pure wrestling match too. There's not going to be the ECW style. And there's, as we talk about being veterans, me and Patrick Hayes being veterans. No, Shane Douglas is a veteran. Shane Douglas is the. Which, just side note, how often is that Shane Douglas isn't? You see on your independent shows, you bring in a big time name, a former champion. You want to attract the crowd and get some signings and all that. Shane Douglas is part of the NEOPro roster. He is on that roster. He'll be competing for titles. He'll be competing. He's here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
And Shane Douglas ain't no dummy, though. It's not all hugs and kittens backstage. There's going to be dudes that want to make their name off of his. And Jimmy Shane being a dude he's from Stark County as well. I listened to the podcast where he said that was a guy he wanted to wrestle, and he called him right out. He keeps calling him right out. So Jimmy's out there to make the name for himself against Shane Douglas. So, man, yeah, I know Jimmy deep down respects Shane Douglas. I know he does. I don't think it's going to stop him from doing anything underhanded to try to get that window. I really don't.
Yeah. He wants that win. I know he wants that win, and he wants it bad because, like you said,
Shane's a
to
legend
have
too.
that name in the win column on your resume,
Permanent.
Yeah.
Last episode, Paulie asked us what's a moment that kind of changed wrestling forever in our eyes. And then my moment was Shane Douglas taking the NWA title and dropping it in trash.
It's huge.
Like, and then the birth of ECW and everything, like it changed the landscape for a lot of what we see today. Like that never happened. Who knows what?
Oh, absolutely. And I know I posted it on Facebook, man. And this is, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I really do. I got nothing to hide about it. I'm
the same thing, man.
I'm a 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid watching ECW, watching the Triple Threat, thinking, Chris Candido is just such an underrated talent. Bam Bam was such an underrated talent. Shane Douglas in like 1998 was the dude. Yeah. And I'm thinking, my 14-year-old brain, playing wrestler in the living room, like, man, Wilbur's part of the Triple Threat. I was there. I got to share that ring with him. I cut a cartwheel when he fucking called out Bam Bam's name. Like that.
Yeah.
I looked at him. I was like, "This is awesome that he's like introducing Chris and Bam Bam." I was like, "That's
yeah."
And he knew he knew that this was a great wrestling crowd to do that because sometimes you get your modern independent wrestling crowd that maybe doesn't even know who those guys are, and that's nobody's wrong for that. You know what I mean? If you're the modern indie fan, you might not really even got to see their work. But he knew this was a good crowd. He knew it was a crowd that would recognize it and understand it and appreciate it. And what a cool moment, man. Like,
oh no, 100%. He was real cool. He got afterwards he shook hands and was out there talking to fans like he was. Sometimes I've been to wrestling events where you get those bigger stars that are legends, so to speak, and they think their shit don't stink, and like I get it. I totally get it. But, like you've said, and I've heard you say it to other, you guys wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for people like us. You know what I'm saying? For you to be a dickhead to us for no reason, like I'm not asking you for an autograph. I just want to say, hey, like, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to say, hey, give you your flowers, so to speak. And like, I've had a couple interactions with bigger names and I was like, ew, like that turned me off towards you.
It's been probably about 80-20 on the good side for me, but those ones that stick out will stick out. And Shane is by far on that good side, man. Just really appreciates all of you guys, appreciates all of us, the young guys that keep this thing, rolling. So awesome to have him back again. But that being said, I'm not putting it past Jimmy to pull out the win on this one. I'm really not.
No, I can go either way.
Yeah, it's going to be a phenomenal card. I'm really pumped for Saturday. We've been talking about it. Like I said, I'll be there early. I'm trying to be first one at the door.
I got to ask, though. I know Cash Inc. is going to be listening to this. You guys got anything you want to say to them before Saturday?
Go ahead, Dontavio.
Let my man have the floor here.
Nah, I just, you know what? Listen, they're young and I'm young too. But the difference between me and them is you talked about my city, okay? That's one of the big differences. You know what I mean? Like I said, dude, I'm coming 10 times harder than I did before back in April when I had to sit out and watch all these shows go on. I got a lot of built up anger and frustration to let out in the ring. So Saturday is definitely going to be one to watch what you say. And I really hope they bring a lot of money with them and put their money where their mouth is because I'm ready. I'm ready.
I get that way too. If someone talks about my city, I get super defensive. Like,
yeah. I grew up here, man. I got beat up here.
Don't disrespect it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. I've learned you don't. I'm not going out and guaranteeing nothing because these dudes, they would not be on the show. They wouldn't be mega trainees. They wouldn't be former tag team champions up at Mega. They wouldn't have any of that if they weren't really, really talented dudes. They are. I know that. I'm not guaranteeing victory, defeat, nothing like that. What I will guarantee, though, is you're going to talk trash on our city like that. You're going to come down in front of my people. Man, I'm telling you right now, again, I've been in the ring with Patrick Hayes a ton of times. I very rarely see that dude rattled. He was rattled. when you get a few hundred people that are absolutely against you and hate your stinking guts, it's going to rattle you. So Gavin, Skylar, Ken, be ready for that. That's exactly what's going to happen, man. Promise you.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I mean, he's not wrong. And I thought about this too. I thought about this and I was like, because if there's no doubt in my mind, you get the same pop. There's no doubt in my mind the crowd's chanting your name and getting super duper hype. And what if this, kind of gets in their head, I guess? Like, this could be a scary, like you basically walking into the lion's den, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, they absolutely are. I promise you they are.
And I know there's a lot of people waiting to see me too. It's been some months since I wrestled in front of the hometown crowd, so
I'm so happy for you for this, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see you, brother. I'm really excited to see you get back in the ring. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. Wilbur, you got anything else for us? Dontavio, you got anything else for us before we get out of here?
Before we go, let me just talk about it because last time when I personally vouched for Studio 86 and I vouched for Justin Maine, on a quick note, on a fun note to start, let me vouch for the Saturday Night Special. Let me vouch for my Applebee's Club because these dudes, A, they can go, B, they're a hell of a lot of fun at the party afterwards, and C, they're ready to come into Northeast Ohio and make an impression. They've been in that West Virginia, Western Pennsylvania sort of scene. They've been doing great. They've talked to me. I love these dudes. They're like, what can we do to get into, to your scene, that Northeast Ohio scene, man? It's buzzing. And I'm like, I'm going to give you the opportunity because
here they are
out and they beat Warhorse. Then do that
that caught me off guard.
Yeah. So I said, I will put in the word. I'll get you that opportunity. Be ready to rock and roll. And I think those guys are going to do it. Now, the other guy that I love, and I'm excited you guys get to see, but it may be the last time you get to see him because Cowpoke Paul is coming into town with the Cowpoke.
I'm a little worried for Cowpoke Paul.
He threw the Beast Man with no disqualification, with no rules.
What did he do to deserve that?
In all fairness, the Beast Man almost killed Papa Smurf last time, so I don't know how to feel about Cowpoke Paul. Jexy Black is going to obviously be out there controlling the Beast Man, but he's dangerous.
Not a good situation. And Cowpoke, I've seen him on so many shows, entertain like crazy, and I'd love to get to see him do it again multiple times for NEOPro. I don't know if that's going to happen. It might be the end of the Cowpoke posse on Saturday night.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. But this Saturday, like Wilbur was saying, Stark County Fairgrounds, NEOPro Revenge, front row sold out. VIP sold out. You won't get to see. You can't sit next to us. You can sit behind us, though. And general admission still available. Everybody's going to be there. Everybody's going to have merch available. Wrestlers will be hanging out at their tables. We got pizza from Marco's like last time, was phenomenal. Great environment. Great arena, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Great place.
Yeah.
Great building. Like, it's very open. It's got all the seating. The bleacher area was sweet. Venue. There we go. Perfect name. There we go. Great venue.
It's a great building for wrestling, man.
It is.
It's a big building when there's nobody in there, but as soon as you get the ring, the entrance, the sound, and all of you amazing fans, it packs in pretty tight, and it's great. It's great for pro wrestling.
Definitely. We can't wait to see all you guys on Saturday.
Go buy their merch. Wilbur's got some awesome glasses. We got the Wrestle Buddy. Dontavio's got some new merch coming out. He's got a new theme song I'm ready to hear, too. I can't wait to hear that. Dontavio, you got anything else you want to shout out for the people? You got any upcoming shows elsewhere you want to plug?
Let's see. I got Dropkick coming up. I'm in a 6-way or something like that.
We're trying to go to that one too.
Yep, definitely make it out to that one. And then I don't really know right now. I don't want to put a whole lot out there, but there might be some things popping up.
We're gonna be seeing his face around, is what he's saying.
Yeah. I'm on a comeback, so
I like it.
Yeah.
Keep supporting all the good local indies, man. AIW's always got some great things going. Mega's got some great things going. OCW is going to be rocking out in Uniontown all summer long. I'll be there for most of those shows as well. But But of course, A2W, as Dontavio mentioned,
Yes.
that show in Southern Ohio on the 1st. I believe, yes, the 1st.
Yep,
and then
the first.
later that month on the 29th will be in Mount Vernon, Ohio. There's some really, really, really good dudes wrestling out there. And as you guys you're going to be spreading this Piledriver podcast all over the state and multiple states. So BCW down in Wheeling, West Virginia. There's so much great.
We've been introduced to that through, Pastor CeeLo and Jake. I followed them down there when they, because I'm follow their pages and stuff. So I've seen some BCW stuff with Jimmy, and we try to follow you guys most of the time when we have you guys on. And I mean, obviously we're already friends on the Book of Faces, but I try to add you guys so that I can share your stuff. Then we can share your stuff on the page. I want everybody that follows us to know about you guys, man.
Yeah,
you guys are doing good shit. I love it.
Appreciate it, man.
It's entertaining. It's fantastic. It makes me smile, makes me laugh, makes me drop my jaw at moments. It's good stuff.
Can't appreciate it enough, you guys. Without you guys, without everybody out there, it doesn't matter what we're doing. Without you guys, we're just bear shitting in the woods.
All right. Well, shout out to everybody. Like I said, get out to Stark County Fairgrounds this weekend. NEOPro Revenge. Shout out to Believe Land Media and all of our sponsors. We thank you so much. Get over there and check all of our other podcasts, Guardians of the CLE, Browns Weekly.
Yeah.
Everything. Get over there and check us out. And we hope to see you this weekend at NEOPro Revenge.
We might even go to the after party.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't have a kid this year.
Yeah, me
I don't
neither.
have a kid this week.
I'm going to just tell you. Now, unfortunately, Miss Super Oprah will not be there. But if y'all miss out on Super Oprah and the Beastman singing some dual karaoke at the after party, buddy, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, I can only imagine. That's probably great.
I don't have the kid this weekend. It is my off weekend, so we may show up to the after party. That's actually a possibility this time.
I'm down for it.
That's that.
So, all right, guys, we'll catch you on Saturday.
I got a Busch Light Peach. Cheers.
Oh, I like that Busch Light Peach. Cheers to the Piledriver Pod. Cheers to NEOPro, Cash Inc. Me and Dontavio got your numbers, kids.
See ya.
Appreciate you guys coming on, man.
Thank you guys, man.